Katie Uhlaender is holding nothing back for her fourth trip to the Winter Olympics. Now 33 years old, the 2002 Summit High School graduate is on the American skeleton team. She grew up skiing at Copper and Breckenridge and only picked up skeleton on a whim in 2003. Just 4 weeks later, she was competing at Junior Nationals and winning. Not only is this Uhlaender's fourth Olympics, it could be her final shot at a medal. And the 2018 Games are already bittersweet. She took fourth to a Russian athlete accused of doping in 2014 and found out earlier this week that the other woman is keeping her bronze medal. But that's fine. Uhlaender has the best abs of any female athlete on the U.S. Winter Olympic team, according to Men's Health, and she did it all without doping. About 1 week before heading to PyeongChang, Krystal 93 caught up with Uhlaender to talk more about the Olympics coming up, the Olympics from the past, and why she is going all in no matter what.
Phil Lindemann, Krystal 93 news director, and I'm on the phone with Katie Uhlaender, Breckenridge's only skeleton Olympic racer. Katie, thanks for making time to talk today.
Yeah, of course. It's always great to speak with someone from back home in Breckenridge. So.
Absolutely. Tell us where you are right now. Where have you been the past couple months?
Oh, my gosh. Well, the World Cup started in Lake Placid, I believe. I actually can't remember. I just know we did Lake Placid, Park City, Whistler, and then I flew over to Europe the end of November, and I just got back on Sunday. So I raced in Germany, Austria, Switzerland while I was over there. We did 8 World Cup races. And for those of you that don't know what skeleton is, it's head first on ice. Basically a heavy cookie sheet that goes from my knees to my shoulders and my face a couple inches off the ice. I go like 80 miles an hour head first. I grew up skiing in Summit County, Colorado. I learned in Copper and Breckenridge, and I honestly think that has a huge part in why I love going head first on ice. And now I'm going into my fourth after graduating from Summit High. So, yeah. Anything's possible.
Well, that's the truth. Well, and how did you get into skeleton? How did you go from, skiing fast on a snowy slope to sliding on a cookie sheet down a luge track?
Honestly, I have no idea. I'm a big advocate for something my father taught me, and I think the good Lord says in the Bible, if you put everything you have into whatever you do, that's how you're going to get the most fulfillment out of life. And my father said it would open up opportunities. And that's just how I've approached everything I do. So I was just working out and training. I met this girl, Jim, in the Zone Recreation Center. And she was like, hey, you should try bobsled. Or no, skeleton. Sorry, she was a bobsledder. She was like, oh, you should do skeleton. And I was like, what the heck is that? And then 3 weeks later, I was in Lake Placid during the sport, 4th week. I won Junior Nationals. Then I went to Junior World Championships. Then I won Nationals, the Senior Nationals, 8 weeks into my career. And I basically had to make a choice. And this is how I approached it. This is the mentality I had. I was either going to go get a PhD and become the next Diane Fossey who lived in the jungle studying gorillas, or I was going to go be an Olympian. And people looked at me crazy when I said that, but that's how I approached life. I was going 100% in, all in. I was going to do whatever it took, and every step I was putting 100% of what I had into it. And, I mean, that's honestly what's giving me fulfillment, and I think why I'm approaching my 4th Olympics, because it's not just every 4 years, it's every day. I'm putting my whole heart into what I do, and it makes life really joyous. I don't know if I made that word up, but I'm really happy.
Well, absolutely. And like you said, it's something that you kind of inspired by your dad, who was an MLB player, correct?
Yeah, my father, Ted Uhlaender, was a Major League Baseball player for 8 years. The majority of his career was with the Twins, where he had number 11. And then I think 1972, he was with the Big Red Machine. So that's with Pete Rose, Johnny Bench. Oh my gosh, I can't think of anyone right now.
Oh wow, but yeah, playing with some of the classics from Major League Baseball. But like you said, he knows what it took. He knows what it took to work hard and get to where you wanted to be, and kind of inspired you to do that. And that was when you met the bobsledder. How long ago was that? 14, 15 years ago? Longer?
Oh my gosh, are you exposing my age? It was right, it was 2002 when I graduated high school.
But you've been at it ever since. And like you said, it happened pretty quick. What do you think What do you think was your trick, right away to be so good at this sport that you'd really never done before?
I mean, it's just what I said before. It's a matter of putting everything you have into whatever you're doing and not second guessing yourself. Like I think there was a moment when I was headed to Junior World Championships, and I was like, Dad, I don't even know if I deserve to go. Like, I don't own a sled. I just started doing the sport a few weeks ago, and now I'm going to compete with Tristan Gale, the Olympic champion. There's an America's Cup champion, Europa Cup champion. All of these people that have had so much experience and have been working at this for so long, and here I am going to Junior World Championships, and I've been on the sled for 3 weeks. And he told me this story. He was like, it reminds me of my first at-bat in Yankee Stadium with Mickey Mantle in the outfield and 60,000 fans. He's like, I couldn't get my legs to stop shaking, and I kept stepping out of the batter's box until I realized that every legend before me had to take the same steps I was into the batter's box. He said, it doesn't matter if it took you 3 days, 3 years, or 12 years to get there. When you both step into the box, you have the same job. Hit the ball. And he said, every time you step into the batter's box, you're going against the odds. And what it takes is the belief in yourself and your abilities in that moment.
Absolutely.
And you can build from there. You can always, I think the hardest thing though, honestly, like going into my 4th games is like when you're early in your career, when you're a kid, when you're young, it's easy to build from those moments, right? You're just like, hey, I have my whole life to continue to build and to go somewhere. And now I'm 33. I'm going to my 4th Olympics, and the pressure feels higher because I'm just like, I'm supposed to be at this certain point. I'm supposed to have gotten this much experience. And that story is still applicable now at 33 because it doesn't matter how long it took you to get there or how long you've been in the batter's box. Once you're there, the job doesn't change. And I think that it's important for not just new athletes or young people going into their careers or their lives, but also seasoned adults to remember that maintaining that zeal and the understanding of focusing on the process and knowing that you can still learn and still build no matter at where you are in your life or what point. What matters is putting everything you have into it and having pride in that and fulfillment from that. And that will honor your friends, your family, everyone that's helped you get there, and God. And that's what my goals are. That's the approach I'm taking.
Yeah, and it is, looking at your results, it's really worked. It's led you up 2012 world champ, and then 2014 barely missed the podium. Tell me what it was like, at that 2014 Olympics.
It feels like you were left at the altar. Like I put everything I had into it. I had a great time. It was one of my best experiences, and for no reason at all, I just came up short. And I feel like that would be what I'd imagine it'd be like, being left at the altar. Not being mad at the guy, just understanding that it didn't work out for whatever reason, and you guys can't be together, and you're left with just a hole. I felt like I had let down my country, but I put it all out there. I did my absolute best, and that's why I'm still here, because of the support and how much this journey inspires me, and it fires me up, and I hope to do the same to others. But I think on the today or tomorrow, they should be finishing the appeals process, and the OSSU is telling me at the 31st of January they should have some more information on medal reallocation. So, do you even know what I'm talking about?
Well, no, I hadn't.
Scandal?
No, I hadn't looked at the full finish list for that Olympics. Was there some controversy with the placement?
Oh my gosh! So there's all this news. Everyone out there right now, I want you to Google Sochi Russian doping scandal. There has been news on it since 2015 about how the Russians conspired to cheat by switching out samples at the games through a mouse hole using a KGB. It sounds like a movie. It sounds like totally made up.
Yeah, it sounds like a James Bond. It sounds like a James Bond plot.
Yeah. No, it's crazy. And I mean, here's the thing is there's no way for us to be angry at the athletes in particular, for sure the nation, but I think it's a matter of culture and understanding of the rules and us needing to take a harder stance towards doping. Because the Russians are their excuses are basically like, well, everyone's doping, we just took it to the next level, everyone's doing it, and I think this is a big moment for the IOC to take a stand and say that's not an excuse. Like, this was state-sponsored doping, like a nation telling the athletes it was okay, or providing drugs, or ways to escape tests.
Yeah, kind of a top-down sort of thing. The people in charge were saying it's fine.
Multitude of factors. It's a chain of command issue. It's a culture issue, because if you have your leadership telling you how the world works and what's okay, it's really difficult to understand what the rules actually are. And that's why we have to turn to the IOC and athletes that believe in competing with integrity and honor and as a clean athlete. It's really important. So, I mean, if I could come back with a medal this time, it would be huge, not just for myself and my family and my friends and, God, it would make a huge statement to show that clean athletes can win.
Absolutely. And I was going to say, how have you been training? You know, it's your 4th Olympics. You've been through this before. You know what it's like. Have you switched anything up, or are you pretty much approaching it the same you always have?
I mean, every year is different. Every Olympics is different, and I've had 12 surgeries over the years. So this quad was completely different. I had a hip surgery and ankle surgery. I was supposed to actually speak at the Summit High graduation, and I couldn't because I had hip surgery. And I was actually telling Mr. Atkins, I was like, no, I'll come on crutches. Like, I really want to talk to those kids. And he was like, no, please don't. Was that this? I was going to say this past graduation, or was that would be a miraculous recovery if I had hip surgery and then out at the Olympics. That was just after 2014 Olympics. That was 4 years ago. So I had hip surgery and then ankle surgery following that. So I took basically 2 years off this quad, and wanted to make sure that I came back recovered. And then the year that I did make my comeback last season, I ended up having an autoimmune attack and ended up in the hospital almost dying, which was pretty epic. I actually had. That's one word for it. I know what it's. Yeah, I'm pretty. It's pretty insane. Like I actually submitted to death at one point, and I remember just thinking, like, all right, well, this is it. You know, I've lived a pretty awesome life. But the great thing is, the things that went through my mind were not my accolades, not being an Olympian, not my accomplishments. It was the people I love and all the great experiences I had. It was more so like the moments where you're standing on top of a peak and you're about to rip it and it's just quiet and you in the snow and like, you get face shots from each turn. Like those are the moments that stuck out in my mind the most. Or like, cruising 80 miles an hour head first down a track and having your stomach go into your throat and you just start giggling because you're hauling butt on this like icy tube at 90 miles an hour and your face is dragging on the ice. Like those experiences of seem to have brought me closer to God, I feel like, and just the world. Like those are the moments, when you're standing on top of a peak in total silence and you're looking down at the line you're about to take. Those are the moments that you should just stop and thank God and thank the world for just being there. Like it's, that's why I'm here. And I mean, those are the moments that you're just about to just throw down and put everything you have into what you're about to do. And that you're not worried about the glory or what it means or if you're going to get a medal. Those are the moments that you're just blessed to be able to do you. And, I don't know, I think coming close to death, it's definitely giving me a new perspective on my pursuits, or maybe a renewed perspective. Because I feel like, as I said before, when you're younger, it's easier to hold that deal and stay focused on just the process. And then, you get older and you get some accomplishments and you start to need to expect them, or, you start to see a meaning in your accomplishments, and you lose that youthful zeal of just doing it to do it. And I think I've come full circle to that again. And I am so excited to see what Korea has in store for me, because I just want that moment on top of the peak. I want to be on top of that mountain at the line and just ready to throw down with what I have. Like, my preparations aren't what I'd hoped, but I feel like it always feels that way. Like, I want a few more weeks to train. I want some more time to prep. I want more time. And, But now's about time to, like you said, now's time to step into the batter's box. It's time to go. Boom. Bring it, yeah. Absolutely. Well, and Katie, my final question for you then was, again, talking about, those moments and those peak moments. Is that the place you find yourself in before dropping, at a major event like the Olympics? Where is your head at right before you take your run? I mean, it's a lot similar to just like this might be a little crude, but my thoughts are like, man, my six is against the wall and I'm going to bar fight. Like, I'm not worried about if my nutrition was perfect, if my training was perfect. Like, all the prep is done. Like, all those concerns and worries, they don't matter because it's time to throw down. So, like, it's my favorite moment when it's, like, over. Like, all the prep is done. Everything's over. It's now time to just bring it. And that's what I love. Like, that's what I chase.
Absolutely.
And it's gotten to the point now, I think, where the World Cup feels like training. All this stuff is training. Like, my focus this quad was Korea and only Korea. And I guess you can kind of see that in my results. But I mean, every race and every every practice I had, I put everything I had into it. But it's in preparation for this one race. Because I have every title you can possibly win in my sport except for one.
Mm-hmm.
I'm an Olympic champion.
Yeah.
So
the last
that's
one.
A big statement. Yeah, it's a big statement. Like, it's not a small thing. Like, I think I won the overall World Cup twice. I won World Championships, America's Cup, ICC, like all the titles. The Olympics is a whole nother beast.
And like you were saying, and right now you really do feel like focus is there. That's where it is. I interviewed Lindsey Vonn earlier this season, and that's about what she said too. She said, I'm not even really worried about World Cup results. My goal right now is that Olympic medal. That's it.
Yeah. And I mean, it's a crazy blessing, like, to know that I potentially could have a bronze medal from Sochi already. But that wasn't the goal. Like, I want to win. Like, the goal isn't just to come in third. And this women's field is, I mean, the sport, I've been in it since, like, 2004, 4. Like, it's progressed. Like, the girls are coming. Like, there are women with some fantastic athletic ability. The equipment has progressed huge. And our nation actually needs to step it up a little bit. I think we did really well for 2014, but we didn't really progress with our equipment since then. So I had to purchase a sled from Bromley, which was like $15,000. Like, I've honestly invested everything I have into this. Like,
you're riding
I'm going to come out of this. Shoot. Yeah, with no engine. I am the engine. So it's going to be crazy. Like, I could come out of this jobless with in debt with no money, but like I said, like, it's no joke when I say I'm putting everything I have into whatever I'm doing, whatever that goal is. That's how I roll. So I can walk away from this situation saying, no, I did everything I possibly could, everything within my power. Because when I was on my deathbed, I tell you what, all that money in my bank account, it's not coming with me. And I don't have anyone to give it to. And I wouldn't know if they got it anyways. Like, as long as my little French bulldog Rosie is taken care of, we're good.
as long as that takes care of it, and then there's a hopefully that medal at the end of the games.
But even if I don't get that medal, like, I have fulfillment and pride in what I've done. Mm-hmm. How many people can you say are willing to step up to the line and not hold back? Mm-hmm. Like, that should be everyone's goal every day in life, is do not hold back. Like, allow yourself to be confident in who you are and what you have to bring. That doesn't mean don't try to learn or be a better person, but just, like, that's part of that process is seeking the best of yourself.
Yes. I was going to say, words of wisdom and well-earned words of wisdom. A long career, and Katie, Breckenridge will be cheering for you when you are out at the Olympics. Katie Uhlaender, thanks for making time to talk about PyeongChang and hopefully making it that gold medal at your 4th Olympics.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for your time.
Of course, Katie. Thanks for talking. Phil Lindemann, Krystal 93.